How would you characterize, what is your response to the monetary and fiscal response that we've seen from the government in South Korea to combat the impacts of this pandemic, and what more needs to be done, do you think?
Well, I guess that our ministry and BOK, which is Monetary Authority, they seem to have done their best, although I don't necessarily agree with all the measures they have done. Maybe, for example, as you probably know, that there has been cash handout going on here in Korea as a relief subsidy to everyone, every adult, to be more precise. And I think that that should be focused more on the needy, so maybe some part of the population. Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, carry on, please.
Yes, okay. Yeah, so it must be more focused on the needy people, so part of the population, I think. But, anyhow, it has been done. And some more measures. Well, that could be that could be included in some more measures, which I mentioned that it should be more targeted to the needy people, needy sector. So that's what I'm seeing now.
Mm. In terms of that monetary policy response, then, we've seen plans to further support the corporate sector in South Korea in terms of purchases of corporate debt and commercial paper. Is there more that the Bank of Korea should be doing, could be doing to support SMEs?
Commercial, overall, first of all, the Bank of Korea should have done something on this so-called interest rate. So they already lowered once, and I don't know whether there can be more rooms for the further the reduction of the government interest rate or not. But it should be. I think we have to wait and see whether it should be done. Well, as a matter of fact, the monitors of the people, they are the experts and they are doing well. So it's totally up to their decision. Some others, well, for the general monetary so-called backup for these people in the needy sector, say small and medium enterprises, it seems to me that, again, the monetary authority in Korea, the Bank of Korea, that's been done fairly well. So for now, further action may be necessary depending upon the progress of this pandemic throughout the world, although in Korea it seems to be a little bit stabilized these days. So further action, I think we have to wait and see from the monetary authority in Korea. But so far, I guess that they have done their best.
Mr. Yu, this is David here in Hong Kong. I'd like to pick up on that point that you just made there as well. I mean, obviously, Korea is spending a lot of money, and we're just showing graphics here to our viewers that employment in SMEs is very important for the economy. Do you think Korea is spending the money wisely, though?
Well, so even say public money, in a sense, you're talking about that part, right? Like I said, at the outset, the cash payout or handout to everybody, every adult or every citizen, in a sense, in Korea, I don't necessarily agree with that kind of measure. So if you say that that's the sign of unwise spending, then I don't know. So I may like to avoid the term unwise or like that, but I think it is more proper then that to spend money on the needy part or needy people. So it should be more target oriented, I think.
Now you've expressed some support for possibly or some variation of the pay-as-you-go system, how applicable and realistic would that be in a Korean context?
Well, in this case, that pay-as-you-go principle may not be applied because it is kind of let's say, a real emergency disaster situation. So we cannot find out the part that could be reduced instead of increasing this kind of the government expenditure. So pay-as-you-go type of pay-go rather type of principle may not be applied here. But what I'm saying is that somehow this kind of government expenditure, huge expenditure, we cannot deny the necessity of this huge expenditure, but somehow if it is done, then it should be done wisely. That's the part. But as a matter of fact, that pay-as-you-go or pay-go principle cannot be applied here. It is totally, we are in totally different situation from the ordinary cases.
How concerned are you about South Korea being caught in the crossfire between a US-China accelerated trade war?
That's I don't know. It's somehow what can I say? We should respond wisely. And it is really a serious problem, not only for Korea, but also for every country in the world. That this kind of so-called trade war now, which is in a sense aggravated by this pandemic situation further. So the problem is that the small open economy like Korea cannot do much between these two great powers. So we actually worry and have to see what would be going on in the process. But it's not easy to find out our, say, independent response to this country, which is a serious one. So, unfortunately,
it's complicated.
I don't have any. Yeah, it's very complicated. I don't have any specific measures that we can take
It's
in
okay.
case of that.
Let's.
Which is already going on, as a matter of fact. Yeah.